Welcome to 5 minutes of yoga a day. We're doing this all through the month of November so we can be cool, calm, and collected through the holiday season. So let's get started. I'm so glad you're here for day 19, exploring 5 minutes of yoga a day. And today we're going to do a lovely stretch out on the floor for those hip flexors, similar to the lunges that we were doing yesterday, but I think much more easeful. So you can find your way down onto the floor. And for this, you will need something to put under your lower back. So it could be a block, it could be a blanket or two, it could be a firm towel or pillow. So pause if you need to find that. And then we're going to meet up down on the floor with these readily available. So once you're down on the floor, let the feet be in a standing position, fairly close to the body and hip width apart. Toes are straight ahead. Let the hands either come to chest and belly or in prayer, and take those 3 deep breaths. When your 3 breaths are complete, open the eyes, bring the hands down at your sides, and extend out on the ground, legs straight and feet flexed, just to get a sense of how the body's feeling here. This will be our little before shot, if you will. And then bend the knees just as we had them bent before. Press your feet into the floor, lift your hips, and bring a blanket or two or a block underneath your sacrum. Ideally, it might even be 2 blocks. Let it be wide enough to support the whole range of your hips. And then we'll let the arms be at our sides, and we'll lift this one leg up, keeping the knee bent, and just tapping the toe down to the ground, right next to the other foot. And after you've done that 2 times, we're going to continue, but each time we tap, we're going to bring those toes a little further forward. So the knee comes up, and we tap the toe maybe across from the other toes, and then just beyond the other foot. And each time we can bring that knee in a little bit closer and send the leg a little further away. And eventually we'll get to that place where it might be hard to even get the toes down. Might be that the leg is straight and we just point the toes and have the heel down. From here, hold this, lengthen the tailbone, extend your arm on that same side up behind you. If you can let it rest on the floor, that's great. If it doesn't quite make it down, you can hover it or maybe add something underneath that block or something to support the hand wherever it feels comfortable. Grow long and reach from the fingertips down through the toes, extending through this whole side body. And then float the left arm down and float the right arm up, or opposite arm, depending on which leg you started with. And reach through the toes of this one side and the fingers of the other. Keep lengthening the tailbone and feel the stretch through the front of the hips, front of the legs. Then float that arm down, bend this knee, and we'll do this on the other side. So the second knee lifts and the toe taps down right alongside the other foot. Tap it in place twice, and then we'll start to take it out a little further. And let it be a gentle rhythm. Right, there's no rush. It becomes a gradual transition. And then eventually we get to that furthest point, lengthening the tailbone, pointing the toes, heel to the floor, and take that arm on the same side up and reach. Can let the arm hover or land on the ground, Back of the hand resting. Be careful if your chin is tucked, lift the chin just a touch and breathe here. Maybe add a little smile. We're doing the body so much good. Float the right arm down, or that same arm down, and the opposite arm up. Again, it can be supported on the block. It can hover in the air, or the back of the hand can touch the ground. Breathe into this stretch, lengthening on that diagonal. And then if it feels okay, lift both arms and stretch out both legs, pointing the toes, lengthening the lower back and the tailbone. Might even squeeze glutes and thighs a little bit here. When you're ready to release, you can bend the knees and bring the feet to the floor. Float the arms down by your side, press into the feet and remove your props and lower down from the uppermost part of your body down through the ribs, the waist, and the hips. Take a moment to pause here. And then extend the legs out on the floor one more time and see if you feel a little different than you did when we first tried this. And if it feels good, maybe close the eyes and rest for another few breaths. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me today. You can learn more about my live yoga classes at my website, bethbierko.com, or check out my pre-recorded class library at bethbierko.vhx.tv. And we'll see you tomorrow.